Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, welcome to Beer Blather 191, the accidental episode. I'm having all kinds of trouble with the audio with StreamYard, but we've managed to create a little Frankenstein here with a mic on one side and the camera on another, and a computer and a phone, and let's hope it works. This is, should I say, American ingenuity at its worst. Now, let's go for the beginning. We are going out to you on Odyssey in our own channel, and we hope and prefer that you use that one. We're also going on YouTube for a while, at least. You know we're going to cut it off. So if you want, come and watch us in Odyssey, and if not, hey, what the hell, I hope it's enough. And on Twitter, where we have every intention of remaining until they kick us out from Blather like they did on the personal accounts. And we don't give a shit, especially now that Musk, being the little prick that he is offering internet connection for NGOs on the ground in Gaza. What an asshole. We're going to talk about that. That said, welcome to Beer Blather 191. Cut off the Hydra heads, for crying out loud. What do we need to do? This is Saul Montes-Bradley, the largest human repository of useless information, here with my good friend Thomas Wictor from Nazifornia, the only living expert in World War I flamethrowers and so many more things, and we're ready to waste an hour or two of our time and yours just trying to figure out what's going on. What's going on, Thomas?
Well, the scuttlebutt is my governor is just going to run for president, replacing Biden, because suddenly he went to China. He's praising China to the skies. And this shows you how, if it's true, this shows you how delusional the Democrats are, because Newsom can't survive outside of California. The Trump ad campaigns will just make themselves. All they have to do is show videos from Los Angeles, San Francisco, you name the city, and say this is what Gavin Newsom wants to do to the whole country. It's crazy that he's the best they have to offer. I don't know. And also he's a weirdo robot. He only plays well in California. He has an impossible time speaking normal American human English. He uses all these made up words and phrases like pivot with empathy. That's suddenly all leftists are saying that.
What the hell does that even mean?
It's just monkey hear, monkey say.
Yeah. I shall pivot with scorn whenever confronted with that.
Well, I mean, pivot is not one of those words that you often hear in everyday conversation. And well, okay, I mean, this is the state where the Department of Mental Health keeps putting out ads referring to the mental health epidemic. And the meaning of that is an epidemic of healthy minds. And so they're arguing that we need to stop the mental health epidemic. And it's like, and do what? Reintroduce mental disorders, mental illness. I mean, nobody knows. I mean, everything's falling apart here. You know, you make an appointment with someone and it doesn't get recorded, and then, you know, suddenly, or mortgages. My brother, his mortgage it's on its third mortgage company, and this one's in San Diego. And they told him that everything would go smoothly from the previous company to the new company. Well, it didn't. And suddenly they sent him a notice of foreclosure because they said that he hadn't paid his mortgage in 3 months. Well, they promised him in writing that everything was taken care of. And it took him 4 hours of screaming on the phone to straighten everything out. And now he's got he's got everybody's name. He's got a number of, you know, that proves that this is all real. And I've told him, just make sure this isn't an attempted scam to steal your house out from under you.
Right.
You know, but he's already lawyered up and everything. And so, I don't know. It's demented. It's, you know, and this state wants to spread this horror to the rest of the country. You know, you think Biden was bad. Just wait. If Newsom were president.
Oh God, I need to sleep tonight. I can't stand another nightmare.
Well, I mean, they've if this is the case, they've managed to choose one of the easiest opponents that Trump will have to face. Newsom can't debate. He can't, like I said, he can't speak normal English. I heard Bill Barr on CBS talking about how Trump is a boorish man who can't, with a very limited vocabulary. It's like, Bill, he got to be president. Imagine that. Imagine that. Have you ever been president, Bill? No. And you can speak in sonorous sentences, but you did a horrible job as attorney general. You failed. And, you know, Trump isn't a bore. He's a bore to you because you're an East Coast, you know, what are they called? In Boston, they're called Brahmins. What are the East Coast intelligentsia called? Is there a term for them?
Okay, no, the Brahmins in Boston comes from the time of the big fortunes with the spice trade. No, I call them morons, actually.
Or buttholes.
But, you know, I don't think there is a name throughout the East Coast. The Brahmins in Boston was more of an economic thing than the intelligentsia.
No, and Bill Barr might be more comfortable voting for the swab and deboner Gavin Newsom. Newsom's a fraud. I mean, Newsom is an idiot. Newsom.
Well, so is Bill Maher. You know, they're made for each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the whole thing's ridiculous. No, I said Bill Barr, not Bill Maher.
Oh, Bill Barr.
Yeah, Bill Barr said.
Bill Barr is got a bone to pick with Trump.
Why?
As usual, you know how these things go. He didn't agree with Trump on the actionable fraud in the elections, and Trump let him have it. And now he's wounded in his pride. You see. Now, do we give a crap about it? No. That's his problem.
Well, he needs to grow up.
Yes, he does. On the other hand, he does say that if Trump is the Republican candidate, he will vote for Trump.
Yeah, but he's doing.
There is a lot of posturing so that you keep getting invitations to cocktail parties. You know.
Well, he's doing damage to weak-minded people who are going to be dithering. it looks like American blacks are going to be getting much more on board than they did in 2020, even 2016 or 2020. You have rappers, multiple rappers are now leading their audiences in pro-Trump chants, and the audiences are joining in. They're not booing. So, that's what we need. We don't need Bill Barr with his wounded pride out there bad-mouthing Trump and saying, if it's, I'll vote for him, I'll hold my nose with a pliers and I'll vote for him. That's damning by faint praise. And I'm sick of these people. I'm sick of all of them. I'm sick of Washington insiders, but I'm also sick of people who have now already written off the new Speaker of the House because he hasn't fulfilled all his promises within the first 14 minutes of being Speaker of the House.
Now, how dare he?
Exactly. So we're a nation of imbeciles, and we have to now, maybe it's always been this way. I don't know. Maybe I constantly overestimated the intellect of the average American. I mean, P.T. Barnum said, what? Nobody ever lost a buck underestimating the minds.
Mencken said nobody ever lost a dime underestimating the stupidity and ignorance of the American people.
Yeah, okay, it was Mencken, and then Barnum said famously, "There was a sucker born every minute."
Yes.
Barnum sewed together a dried upper monkey half to a dried lower fish half and called it a mermaid, and everyone went, "Whoa!"
Yeah, people pay to see the mermaid,
Yeah. Which was, like this long. It was a baby mermaid. I don't know. But I'm just tired of the fact that Americans have to experience something before they know it's bad. Or,
yes.
Okay, now everybody's talking about Hamas having its headquarters under Shifa Hospital as if it's a brand new revelation.
Wow.
I've known that
surprised.
I've known that for years. We're just stupid, and I've seen interviews where they're asking college students, what does from the river to the sea mean? And they're like, well, it means that you have to exterminate all the Israelis. And they're like, well, I don't want to do that, but I just, blah, blah, blah. They're idiots. And
they have no idea what they're talking about. No. They repeat things because they sound good to them. There is a rhyme to it, but they don't know what it means. The same thing with the occupation.
Of course.
What does end the occupation mean? It means all the Jews are out of Israel.
Yeah. And
while we're at it, the Muslims and the Christians in Israel, which are together about 30% of the population at this point.
Well, I've seen tons of interviews with Arab Muslims serving in the IDF because they're Israelis.
And yes, there's 2 million, count them, 2 million Arab Muslims in Israel that are Israeli citizens whose children are fighting in the IDF and whose families are victims of Hamas terrorism in Israel.
Yeah. The Bedouins are known for their exceptional skills in fighting and scouting, and so the Bedouins have various beefs with the government. Well, every Israeli has a beef with the government, but they've all put this aside for now. And okay, Biden is jibber jabbering about ceasefires and pauses and all that, and meanwhile, the Eisenhower just went through it just passed Gibraltar, the Straits of Gibraltar, and then next it's going to go down the Suez Canal, and it's going to end up right offshore of Iran. And
yep. So it's going to go through my 2 favorite straits.
Yeah.
First through Bab el-Mandeb and then through Hormuz. And by the way, for people who are, cry babies, idiots. Oh my God. Oh my God. We might have a war with Iran. Oh my God.
So what?
The Eisenhower is more than enough.
Yeah, I mean,
for what needs to be done.
The Eisenhower by itself could defeat Iran regardless. And, I saw...
It can literally reduce their military installations to dust.
Well, everybody's upset at Erdogan for essentially coming out in support of Hamas. I don't know if you saw the newsreel of Erdogan tottering up the stairs. Erdogan's only in his mid-70s, I think.
Yeah, but he's not in good shape.
No, he's projecting like he's 95 years old.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, Turkey doesn't matter anymore. Turkey is, everybody talks about it's a NATO ally. Okay, Turkey's control of the Black Sea. No, what is it? What's the
the entrance of the Black Sea, the Bosphorus.
Yeah, so Turkey's control of that matters, but in all other ways, Turkey has become a ridiculous third world joke. The lira is in free fall. And so Erdogan has decided to pick another fight with the Jews.
But that is what you just put the finger in the middle of the problem. Erdogan has increasing unrest in Turkey. His Islamic coalition is floundering. The economy is in the shambles. And all of a sudden, he does what all of these petty morons do, which is raise a nationalist flag or the religion flag to rally the troops to his side. It doesn't matter. Number one, no, Turkey is not going to go to war with Israel. Number two, whenever there's been an encounter, a violent encounter between Turkey and Israel, Turkey cut off and run. Remember not too long ago when the Israelis sank a couple of Turkish ships?
Yeah.
That were smuggling weapons into, because, Erdogan is now come out in favor of Hamas. The son of a bitch was smuggling weapons for Hamas 2 years ago.
Well,
5
also,
years ago.
The Turkish National Gendarmerie stopped. Okay, the Turkish military intelligence is known by its initials, which are the same as Texas, not Texas A&M. Anyway, it's known by a three letter, like TSU or something like that. And they were smuggling weapons into Syria for the Islamic State. And the gendarmes confiscated the weapons. And then basically Erdogan ordered the army in to get the weapons back. And when a Turkish reporter reported on this, he was charged with, revealing state secrets, and he was tried, sent to jail. And
but the thing is, when Israel sank those Turkish ships, Erdogan screamed bloody murder. He's going to wipe Israel off the map. They broke diplomatic relations, and the next thing you know, Erdogan is. I'm sorry, folks, but you know all the nasty things I said last night. Yeah, I was a little tipsy. I didn't really mean it. It was the alcohol talking. And now they just restored diplomatic relations at the request of Turkey, that when trying to negotiate with Israel, because they need it trade with Israel desperately.
Yeah, good luck. I would tell the Turks to go stick it up.
Right, and now he just fucked it up because he talks too much in front of the crowd, and Israel has pulled its diplomats from Turkey, and Netanyahu is not in a conciliatory mood.
No, and I don't know. This whole thing, when it's all over and done with, nobody's going to care about the fate of the Palestinians. This is just being used as a big club to bash Israel over the head. But the problem for the world's Jew haters is that the Israelis aren't going to stop. I mean, It doesn't matter how many people march in Brooklyn. Doesn't matter. I mean,
yeah, and by the way, it really doesn't matter.
No, there's all this talk about, Biden
67% of the population of the U.S.
Yeah,
wants Israel to wipe Hamas off the earth.
Of course.
So if 1,000 or 10,000, for that matter, or 300, which is the usual number, get together with Palestinian flags, to empathize with terrorists, well, fuck them.
Well, I watched I don't know if he was Scottish or Irish. I think he was Scottish. A Scottish stand-up comedian who's got his own YouTube channel, and he's very anti-woke. And I watched a video he did today where he just outlined everything, just the sheer absurdity of woke leftists aligning themselves with Hamas, radical feminists aligning themselves with murderous misogynists,
my favorite is Gays for Palestine.
Yeah. That try and figure that one out.
I don't want to figure it out. I want to fundraise to buy each and every one of them a one-way ticket to Gaza because they're not going to need a return ticket.
Well, one of them came out today and said that it's not Hamas that opposes homosexuality. They're just following the 1936 British mandate.
Oh, right. It's the Brits. It's the Brits, I tell you. It's the Brits. They screw everything up.
Well,
bullshit. And by the way, it is true. It's not Hamas. It's each and every Gazan, whether they support Hamas, Fatah, Palestinian Jihad, or any other example of organized asshaddery.
Well, okay, I don't buy that I don't agree that every Gazan is wholeheartedly following Hamas.
No, only 7 out of 10.
Well, I mean, I think these people will change their, when I tried to make my aborted documentary, I bought all the raw footage from the Palestinian cameramen for a song. They were, and this was, all the original stuff. It was like, it's mine now. I own the rights to it. And, I mean, they were in it for the bucks. And my guess is after Hamas is exterminated, and say an Arab occupation force comes in and all the Saudi and UAE investors come in, they're all going to say, Hamas? What Hamas? They're not going to. I just think they don't have any core beliefs other than what they're being told to believe in the moment.
Oh, but that's the thing. They've been brainwashed into a knee-jerk Jewish hatred.
Yeah.
It's raining. It's raining. Oh my God, my crops. Fuck the Jews. They're making it rain. Everything is the Jew fault.
Sure.
And when I say in interviews, when I start talking about Israelis as Muslims or Christians, people look at me and they're hesitant. It's like, what kind of that? And I said, you forget that Israel has grown enormously. It has taken in refugees from Lebanon, from Syria, and right now 30% of the population of Israel is not Jewish. They're Christians, they're Muslims, and
Druze.
You have to stop with this crap because you don't understand what's going on there.
Well, see, this is. I mean, I was just marveling today. I was just thinking about what we were going to talk about, and it's we've entered this monkey see, monkey do stage where sort of tying in with all that, or all these videos of these sad Generation Z girls who realize that they're never going to get married. They're never going to be able to live like an influencer. You know, they're working their butts off. Their college degrees are useless. I saw one, it was a tattooed muscle girl, and she was just really upset because she couldn't find a man. And when she
a tattooed muscle girl.
Yeah, well,
I wonder why.
Well, she was looking at all these people's, like the women they were with, and they were all girly girls, and you know, she was somewhere in the South, and she thought, you know, I always thought of men as these big, strong guys who wanted someone equally muscular. And it was just like, look, I mean, I found her perfectly attractive, but what I couldn't stand was her whining. That okay, monkey see, monkey do. If you look at social media, whenever women get upset, they now add an at the end. They go, why are you doing this? Why are you stopping me? Why can't I get married? And now they're all doing it.
Is that a California thing?
No, it's nationwide now. It's a generational thing. But see, once the kids start doing it, then the older people do it too. So this, I
not me.
No, not me. No, I believe that social media is, at some point, there's going to be such saturation that it's not actually going to be as influential. It's going to return to trivia, because it doesn't actually have much to offer other than news channels. I don't remember. I read an article. Biden's chin. There's this conspiracy theory going around that Biden's chin is suddenly radically different, and it's proof that they're using either a body double or an actor wearing a Biden mask. And it took me about 2 minutes to find a black and white photo of Biden at about 32 years old, and he had the same chin. The lighting. Well, okay, for one thing, he's 80 years old now. Yes. So in his case, he's 80 years old and he's not in good health. So his skin his last facelift has collapsed.
And let's face it, every time somebody has to pull his head out of his ass, there are consequences.
Sure.
You know, he gets something moved over here, a chin popping over there.
Well, I read an article about how X is now run, and because the advertisers have stayed away, what Musk has done is he's tweaked the algorithm so that they're getting tons of views based on conspiracy theories and real death videos. What the hell is that? Did you see that?
Where?
On my screen, a thumb just appeared. Did you see that?
I see. Oh, what is that?
Are you doing that?
Hell no.
Okay,
that's a new one for me.
Yeah, we're being. Let me try it again. Yeah, see, it's copying me. Isn't that ridiculous?
It's not copying me.
Well, it's
copying me. It's with you.
I have no idea what's going on, but see, this is,
there's something going on. Remember, I couldn't connect my computer sound to StreamYard, so they're probably working in the background.
Yeah. So now it's the AI. When it sees me doing this, it copies it. See, look at that.
Look at that, amazing.
This is retarded. This is for retarded people. It's a thinking balloon. Sticky thumbs up.
I mean, just in case the little morons don't know what a thumbs up is.
No, Hey, let's try this.
Yeah, let's see.
Yes.
Oh, there you are. It's a translation for morons.
For morons. I give up. Good night, everybody.
God.
But anyway, what I was
this is almost as bad. Remember one night that I came in and I was fucking furious because I had a Kit Kat chocolate bar and it came with instructions to open the wrapper.
Yeah, because there's people out there who try to eat it through the wrapper.
How it's okay. I give up. Mankind is definitely gone off the deep end of idiocy, and it left us all alone to wonder why God is making us live through this period of idiocy.
Okay, let's see if no, it's only thumbs up and thumbs down. That's fine. Okay, here.
Let me try this. Let me try this.
No, how about
no? It doesn't work.
Oh, it's Little Mind.
I like that one.
See, this is how stupid AI is. You can wreck AI's little brain in about 3 seconds. But let me just finish my stupid thought before we were distracted by idiocy. Musk has tweaked the algorithm so the tweets that get the most views now are conspiracy theories and real death videos.
Yes.
So if you go on Twitter, you can see uncensored death now, if that's your bag, and it's astonishing. And so the conspiracy theory of Biden having a new chin, and all the people we know and love got on board with that one.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous because Biden has not only the same chin. In the photo I found, he doesn't actually have a symmetrical dimple in his chin. He has what looks like a reversed C shape in his chin.
Yeah.
And you can see it's exactly the same in the picture when he was 32 and now the picture when he's 80, or the video, whatever.
It's just fucking ugly, let's face it.
It's just, yeah, and this is idiocy. Like conspiracy theories in the past, it was like, okay, there were 3 gunmen, there was the grassy knoll gunman, and we found him in this grainy Polaroid that we enlarged until the grains showed whatever we wanted to show, and you could see a man in a cop uniform wearing dark glasses firing.
And there was Bigfoot walking through the grassy knoll.
Well, the conspiracy theory itself was at least marginally plausible, but to say that that a man pretending to be Biden is wearing a super secret new dark technology Biden mask that just happened to become undetached around the chin is ridiculous, because the CIA, according to these people, is so brilliant that YouTube sleuths can figure out what's actually happening in about 2 seconds flat. So, incels and
porn addicts, incels and porn addicts,
they can figure out what's going on in 2 seconds, and it's all ridiculous.
Somebody put on our chat here that it may be a zip up, what you call it,
a zip up.
Yeah, for apnea while you sleep.
A CPAP
strap. Yeah.
Oh, from his chin.
Yes.
No, I mean, he was dehydrated. He's 80 years old. He's okay. When my father started to get really sick, everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong with him, exactly like with Biden. My father lost his sense of balance. He was constantly dehydrated. His physical appearance changed to where if you saw a picture of him at 84 versus a picture of him at 50, you would never know that was the same guy. And in the case of Biden, if you go on to Google Images and you look up young Biden, you'll see somebody who is quite physically attractive. And, he bears no resemblance to what he looked like in his youth. And that's mostly due to ill health and the
fact that, unlike Dorian Gray, he does not have a portrait in the attic that is picking up all the shit that he's doing.
Exactly.
He wears it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a line.
If you think his chin looked funny, you should have seen his ass.
Well, there's a line from Wilfred Owen's poem. The poem is, I think it's called Dulce et decorum est, and it's got a famous line that his face was a hanging face like a devil sick of sin, and that's what you see. I mean, and personally, my personal belief is that nobody gets away with anything, and if you live a life of sin and evil, near the end of your life,
wear it on your face.
Wear it on your. Well, Orwell said, by the age of 50, every man has a face he deserves. So
yes, you can see that, and I mean, whether your activities are evil or just unique to you, the nose of somebody who enjoys more than a fair share of scotch is a peculiar nose. Yeah, and at about age 50, this guy is a scotch drinker.
Yeah. And his cheeks, he has gin roses in his cheeks, and
yes. So it happens. Dev says that he's had a facelift. No, it's not a facelift. It's that his ass started falling, and literally they kind of came around. He's got his face in his ass, and his ass in his chin.
Well, he what people don't understand about facelifts is that if you have a facelift late in life, when your skin is really thin, it's much thinner than before, it only lasts for a very short time. And his chin line, he had a razor sharp chin line when he ran for president, and now he's got that super hanging wobbly lizard sack that a lot of old people develop. And
especially old lizards.
Yeah. So, a collapsed facelift generally looks really weird.
Yep.
Because, this is why a lot of women are getting their faces plumped up. In the past, they had them drawn really tight, but now, for whatever reason, they've been told that, well, if you inject all this crap into your face, you'll look youthful, and you end up with something called pillow face. That
yes,
horrible. I don't know.
I like the way people who age with dignity look.
Exactly.
I like, people who have had no surgery. I don't mind people who have to have surgery because, I don't know, a disfiguring event. They go through the windshield of their car nose first. Well, there is no remedy there. You have to do something to put things back in their place. But for age, I think it's so stupid. And I look at women at 60, 70, 80 who had no surgeries, and they have such elegant, compelling faces.
Well, if you ever see documentaries about, say, the golden age of cinema, they'll interview a lot of men and women who were sort of second and third bananas, but who were there and got to experience all of this. And, they were in the Maltese Falcon and all that, but they weren't stars. those people invariably look much better than the stars who ruin their faces. Especially the women.
Yeah. Hey,
I mean, we've talked.
Look at Madonna. You really can't tell face from ass anymore.
Well, I mean, she looked fine up until the mid 90s. She was in her late 30s. She started having these really attractive lines in her face, not furrows or anything, but she just looked like a mature woman who was very fit. And then she went crazy with the facial surgery, and now she's a monstrosity.
Exactly. So, and some young women are doing that too. Then they look like they just walked out of the wax museum.
Well, everybody wants to still, believe it or not, look like the Kardashians. So there was a singer called Gwen Stefani who was very pretty, and once she hit around 40, she had such radical plastic surgery that she looked like a completely different person. And she was trying to, she ended up looking like a sort of, have you noticed in a lot of these Mexican talk shows and Middle Eastern sort of entertainers, like the women look really weird because they've had their faces totally jacked up with plastic surgery. It just, you just look like, I mean, you're just like, that's what Gwen.
And they hitched the trailer to their ass too.
Well, Gwen Stefani now looks, I mean, she's ruined her face. And when she unveiled her new face on one of these late night talk shows, it was like, oh my God.
Can you get a refund?
Well, can you get a new face? Can you take this face off and, well, just cut off your head, just get it over with.
Yeah. If you're gonna get another head, just make sure you don't do it with the same surgeon.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess we should.
Anyway, enough of the distraction, because the world is such a piece of shit. We need to talk about women's oversized arses and demolished faces. Just for refreshment purposes. We were talking about Erdogan. Erdogan is not going to go to war with Israel. He's going to turn tail eventually. It is a dangerous game he's playing. He may one day be forced by his own people to carry out his threats or be eaten alive. But so far, it's not that clear, and better than half of Turkey is not buying into this shit anyway. Because that's the part that from the West most people don't see. Turks have, the majority of them, zero interest in going to war, especially to defend an Islamist terrorist group. They wouldn't go to give a hand to Iran either. Well, about 40% do, but 60% don't. And that is a dangerous game that Erdogan is playing over there.
Well, think about this. The Turks and the Ukrainians have the same German tank. It's called the Leopard 2.
Yeah.
And when Erdogan went into Syria, he lost about 15 of them, blown to pieces. Like, the turret toss and all of that. The Ukrainians, as of now, they've lost 3 destroyed, and all the other ones that were damaged have been recovered and repaired, or they're in the process of being repaired. So the Turks, we both know that Erdogan, the army, the military used to be the safeguard of secularism, and what Erdogan did was he replaced everybody with Islamist lackeys, and now the army is crap.
Compared to what it once was, it is shit. Remember when Erdogan was going to invade northern Syria?
Yeah.
And impose the Pax Turca over quite a swath of land in what is now the Syrian Kurdistan. How long did his effort last before he had to turn tail and run back to Turkey?
A whole lot of blown up Turkish armored vehicles.
Okay. And it was inside of 2 weeks. So I don't trust the apparatchiks that Erdogan used to replace the professional Turkish army to be a threat to anybody.
No. And okay, after the Turks turned tail out of Syria, they gathered together all the Islamist opposition groups who were basically indistinguishable from the Islamic State. I mean, they put out beheading videos, and it was called the National Liberation Front or the National Liberation Army. Well, the fake Al-Qaeda that has essentially transformed itself from Al-Qaeda, they wiped them all out in I think 2 or 3 days. They launched 21 simultaneous ground offensives and wiped them all out, and they're dead. And so the Turks, at one point, the Turks tried to send Islamists to Libya. They all got killed there. I mean, they were trained by the Turks. Nobody wants to train with the Turks anymore. The Saudis just concluded a new military relationship with South Korea. They're like having joint exercises together. The South Koreans have a base in the UAE, and they're going to open another base in Saudi Arabia. So nobody cares about the Turks anymore.
No. It's and the longer Erdogan stays put, the farther away. In the 90s, Turkey, Turkey was on the cusp of becoming a member of the European Union.
Mm-hmm.
It was very advanced, and those who opposed it on religious grounds were losing territory fast. And Erdogan is pissed it all away. Nobody is thinking that Turkey right now has a chance of joining the European Union, or for that matter, being a reliable ally, or on a bilateral agreement of some sort. They're fine. That's why the lira is in free fall. And that's why the economy that Turkey had managed to build is really at the risk of collapsing.
Let me look up something.
Uh-oh.
Okay. All right. So you don't think Hungary's Orban is a Russian lackey at all?
Erdogan?
No. Hungary's Orban. Turkey.
Yes, I don't think that Orban is a lackey. Yep, correct.
Turkey has relented on Sweden joining NATO, and now it's Hungary blocking Sweden. So what's the reason that Hungary would block Sweden from joining NATO? It can't be religious reasons. So what's the reason?
No, but you got the upper hand, and you can extract a prize. This is the European way. This is the US Senate way. What? You need one more vote? No shit. Oh, mine. You mean it's mine? What do I get?
Wow.
I didn't say they were moral people. They are notoriously amoral.
No.
But
No,
he's not doing this as a favor to Russia. He's doing this as a favor to himself.
yeah, and you know, this is why this whole era is so disgusting. I mean, I always knew that politics was, you know, who was it who famously said politics ain't beanbag? Well, no, it's worse than cleaning sewers, because you're not actually cleaning sewers, you're filling them.
Yes.
And
They're never clean, that's for sure.
I can't stand it. And this is why I support Trump, because, you know, I mean, Trump, people don't listen to Trump. Trump said he would prevent World War III. The way he would do that would be like sending word to everybody that, you know, I mean, okay, I don't think I told this on the air. I think I told this to you over the phone, but Mike Pence's former advisor was on Fox News, and he said that he and Trump's advisor, when they got word that the American embassy in Erbil was under attack and they were burning their papers, they decided it's time to wake up Trump and Pence. And Trump immediately asked, who's behind this? And they said, General Soleimani of the Quds Force in Iran. And Trump said, kill him. So within 48 hours, Soleimani was dead. And then word was passed to Iran through Switzerland. If you don't stop this immediately, the next person we're going to kill is going to be your grand Ayatollah.
Yep.
And they stopped. That's how Trump would prevent World War III. He would send messages to everybody, stop this crap, or we're gonna make you pay, like personally. We're gonna flatten Putin's palaces, and you know, if he survives or he doesn't, good luck.
You know, incidentally, that the Attorney General is received the Department of Injustice. I think it was last week, and a judge that came all the way from Iran to ask for the extradition of a certain Donald Trump to be tried for the murder of Soleimani.
That's really funny. That's
I cracked up so hard, I almost puked. It is the funniest shit I've seen in a long time, but it's true.
Of course.
I can imagine, you know, these camel humpers in Parthia to be stupid enough to think that they can ask for the extradition of a former president in the US, regardless of any other circumstance. But the Department of Injustice received him?
Well, that's the problem. I mean,
they didn't send him a note, don't bother coming, asshole, stay home.
No, but see, Biden and Obama are deeply in love with the mullahs because they find them to be virile, amoral people who do what they want. And Biden and Obama admire that because while they are completely amoral, they're not virile in the slightest. And so they're going to do everything possible to help Iran. And that's why I'm positive that Biden isn't making a lot of the decisions.
Speaking of helping Iran, I want to show you something, but in order to do that, we're going to leave YouTube, and I remind everybody in YouTube, I say that people have been writing stuff there. We do not monitor, mention, or answer the chat in YouTube. If you want to chat with us, come to Odyssey and chat to your heart's content. And if what you say is good, it'll be reflected in our conversation. That said, well, you know, YouTube, the link to come here is in the description. Good night to you all. Take care. Or not. I don't care. You're still in YouTube. And how the hell do I do this now? No, come on. There you are.